there's 1,000 auctions a week, more than that on Bring a Trailer now, plus Cars and Bids and P-Car Market, and then the RM Sotheby's and Somo and auctions among auctions. And most of them go fairly normally, but every now and then one is such an epic fail that we have to highlight it. And I happen to notice this one because I keep track of Metzger engined GT cars for my database, GT Vault. And this one went more sideways than somebody in a first-gen Viper on original tires who lifted off the throttle. And
I think this is surprisingly, as we'll come to find out, the most sideways this car's ever gone.
Well, I don't know
impressive
about that. given the wreck. So the 2007 911 GT3 RS was on Bring a Trailer. Very highly sought after car, 415 of them for the US in white color. So that's one of the rare colors.
Excuse me, Doug,
blah.
it's Carrara white.
They actually spelled it wrong.
Oh, they did.
On the auction. They spelled it Carrara white.
It's Carrara white.
Ceramic brakes. The only issue is that it has a rebuilt title for a wreck.
Yep.
And we talk about often whether or not rebuilt title cars are worth buying. And of course, when you put one on a public auction, you expose yourself to a lot of comments, a lot of questions, and you better be prepared.
Yeah, you better have your ducks in a row, your story ready to rock. Did you see, Doug, the photos from the wreck?
I did. Interestingly enough, they were not posted on the auction, and when somebody asked for the photos, the seller said that their office had burned down.
Hold on.
And so they lost all the files for the photos.
That's a real, like, dog ate my homework kind of excuse.
Oh, hold on. We'll get to the dog, too.
There's a dog?
There is a dog involved. Right. So they couldn't post the photos, but lo and behold, if you go on a supplemental vehicle history report website like EpicVin, which you can do using our affiliate link in the video description, they had the photos of the wreck. So something you don't get from Carfax. And like anybody could have gotten them, and then thankfully somebody also posted them to Renlist. So they were readily available on the internet, but the seller is making an excuse that their office burned down. That's why they don't have the files in a digital world. Same excuse for why they didn't have the service records of the repair, but they knew who had done it. They were bragging that True Speed Motorcars had performed the repair. So it's like, okay, we'll call them and get the receipts.
Yeah, I'm sure they still, because it wasn't that long ago, I'm sure they still have them or some record of them somewhere.
Exactly. This is Bring a Trailer, people. That you can't get around the peanut gallery. Even if everybody in the peanut gallery is not going to bid, which often happens, like you got to answer the questions. The damage photos were not that bad in my estimation. It was the front right corner. There seemed to be no damage to the A or C pillar. The glass was still intact, which when I had an accident at, I don't know, like 40-ish miles an hour, I hit something right front corner. The glass shattered. The A pillar was creased. I think the C pillar had a little crinkle in it. And it's like, this car has to be total. But this one, like everything outside of the right front corner was fine. So it was like subframe, maybe front tub, suspension pieces, hubs, whatever. Probably not that big of a deal.
Weren't there multiple accidents, though?
No, I don't think so. I think it was because it shows a total loss in terms of, it shows the Carfax report, the police report on Carfax for the accident, then the total loss for the insurance claim, then the salvage title, when the title becomes salvage, then the rebuilt title issue. That's all one process.
I must have misread it then. I thought there was some other incident in there, but wait, so if there's a police report, that means this didn't happen on track.
Or it did happen on track and then they moved it to a ditch nearby. Your friendly local insured ditch. Which people
we love
tend
an
to
insured ditch.
I won't throw anybody under the bus, but people have told me they were doing those things. I'm just like, okay.
The driver's airbag did pop.
And the passenger airbag.
Oh, it did. Yep.
So the photos were okay, not great, but the seller's responses or lack thereof to people's valid questions in this instance really hammered them. Yes, to use a little auction pun. One of the best comments, I think, of all time was in this auction. So people brought up the fact that not only was the front brake rotor had like a huge chunk out of it, which is a ceramic rotor, very expensive.
Yes. And I think if you have a chunk out, you don't really want to drive it, right? Like that's damaged enough that you don't want to use it, or is that
this
okay?
chunk was pretty big.
Okay.
A tiny chunk, probably not a big deal, but there was a number of lug nuts that were rusty. On one wheel, there was 3 out of the 5. On another wheel, there was 1. And another wheel, there was 2.
And like really rusty.
And people were like, hey, so what's with that? And the seller said, oh, well, I was in the hospital for a long time and somebody was watching my German Shepherd and he peed on the wheels. And that's why the lug nuts are rusty.
Yeah, he just really went and peed on like all 4 wheels of the car.
Well, 3.
Oh, yeah, 3. One of them's clean.
3.
Clean as a whistle.
Yes, and he only hit 3 lug nuts on the one wheel.
He's not very accurate, Doug. He's
right.
really just there for the business.
So then he didn't answer questions because he had a death in the family, which if it's true, that is awful. But there's just a lot of mishaps happening at a time when maybe you shouldn't be auctioning the car.
Yeah, there's just lots going on, and some of that you can't really predict, I guess, but this was really an inopportune time. And the seller did not leave that many comments.
No.
For a car of this caliber, you would expect some engagement. Mm-hmm. I did appreciate, though, one thing that made me chuckle. So the shout out to the gray man on Bring a Trailer. First comment, I can fix her on the listing, which I loved. A comment a few days after that, this person was really just going down the rabbit hole on this, and I loved the journey of their comments. They said, is a second license plate screw included with the sale? And I didn't notice, there's only one plate screw in the rear. I'm like, you're auctioning this car, and you can only afford 1 screw in the plate?
He couldn't even clean it because there was a bunch of dog hair in the back that somebody pointed out. And he said, yeah, that's for my Shepherds. For my Shepherd. It's like, okay, you can answer where the dog hair came from, but you can't answer like where the car was repaired. It was just circled around everything and excuses for everything. There was a great summary by one of the commenters. Said, the office with the accident pictures burned down. You had an explosion accident. Your Shepherds peed on your lug nuts and a family. I hope getting rid of this thing gets you better luck in life.
That's so good.
This is one of the strangest auction sequences in terms of comments that I've seen in a long time.
And it also looked like there's like mold that was on the driver's seat at one point, and it wasn't cleaned very well. Where's that photo? Oh.
I think the car looked better in the post-accident photos than it did on the Bring a Trailer
I also
listing.
swear there's a different color white on one of these doors.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's like on a couple of photos, it just looks a little strange to me.
But it is nowhere near as bad as the salvage title, rebuilt title 996 GT3 you tried to buy, the blue one that's still for sale. It had the ceramics on one side and the steel brakes on the other and was still visibly bent after it was repaired.
And somebody was like, I can't possibly afford GT3 bodywork. Let me, shove Carrera stuff on this. It'll be like a touring.
Yep.
No, thank you.
You might have thought it would never happen, but Switchcast is endorsing a transport company. Whether you're moving a rare collectible, a high-end sports car, or your personal luxury vehicle, Shaughnessy Overland Express delivers with precision, privacy, and respect. This isn't just transport, it's white glove care from pickup to delivery. For over 14 years, they've earned the trust of collectors, enthusiasts, dealers, and owners by offering unmatched service and personalized attention. You'll work directly with their experienced in-house team, ensuring a smooth and private experience without middlemen or surprises. Every shipment is protected with up to $3 million in cargo insurance, offering peace of mind for even the most valuable and rare vehicles on the road. In addition to their enclosed fleet, they've also established a trusted auto transport brokerage service, giving you access to a nationwide network of vetted, open, and enclosed carriers. Whether you need transport on a route they don't currently operate or their carriers are at full capacity when your schedule demands, they'll still get it done without compromising the Shaughnessy standard of excellence. Same professionalism, same personal touch, expanded flexibility. We are proud at Switchcast to endorse Shaughnessy Overland Express as the official transporter of Switchcast. Visit soexinc.com and tell them Switchcast sent you. Honestly, after seeing the damage photos, I would take a flyer at this car. It went reserve not met to $130K, which is well short of the last rebuilt title GT3 RS that sold, which sold for $186. Now, granted, that was fire damage. That was the one that was the Road Scholars building fire. So that's a, different type of damage, both a little bit risky, but the seller definitely hurt their own auction here, and there is a million reasons in here, including their German Shepherd, on why this car did not sell. But it's definitely a lesson in how not to do a bring a trailer auction.
Seriously. Whoa.
Unless, as somebody opined, you're trying to settle a divorce and you need to establish a very low market value for your car that you actually want to keep. Could be a valid strategy. Speaking of bidding on auctions and continuing the bring a trailer theme, thought we'd do a lighthearted segment on the best excuses people leave to not bid on an auction, which is similar to, car dealers or car salesmen, the excuses we hear. But when people actually put them in print to be immortalized and announce why they've chosen not to bid on a car instead of just quietly not bidding, we find it incredibly entertaining. So there's some themes that we see regularly, which is, I tried to bid, but, bring a trailer screwed me. It glitched out. The auction had already ended, which you have 2-minute clock that resets every time somebody bids. You shouldn't wait till the last 5 seconds and then claim that your computer glitched out or is bring a trailer's fault that you couldn't get a bid in. But I've seen that dozens of times.
I even have one in my list that is, beautiful car. I just noticed it probably 30 seconds too late. What do you mean? It was on the internet for 6 or 7 days. Come on.
That one blows my mind on a 7-day auction. It blows my mind more when we have a car listed on our dealer site and all the third-party sites for like 4 months, 6 months. We finally sell it, and the next day someone's like, oh, hey, I just found this car. I've been looking forever.
I don't believe that.
Have you been looking forever?
No, they haven't, because let me tell you, I knew every single 996 GT3 that came up for sale because I was everywhere. If you really want it, they didn't want it bad enough.
You know. All right. So these are actual quotes that we found in Bring a Trailer auctions of people announcing why they're not going to buy a car. One of the big themes is, of course, let me humble brag about my car. So I would buy this, but I bought one 8 months ago.
I have one from Cars and Bids on an old Fiat that says, well, I have a 76 183P 57 Multipla 59 Abarth and a 74X. Otherwise, I would be in.
Yes. Listing the whole collection. Mine seems lame now. A quote, I'd be buying if I didn't already have one. Thanks.
Cool, bro.
Here's another one. I'll give this one like 2 points for validity, but otherwise, no. I was going to bid, but so-and-so had been trying for an Esprit for a long time.
What? Why do you...
Are you that good friends with them? Or do you just want to say that you're not bidding?
I have one on an old Tacoma here that, it was pretty low mileage, but it had been used. Somebody's like, if it wasn't for the paintwork and packed mud and off-roading, I would still be in. Great seller. It's a truck. What do you expect from a truck? They used the truck.
People announcing their exits on bids. One that I see very often is, well, if they didn't have the dock fee, I would bid.
Oh, how often do you get that?
Pretty often, but it's always the same people. And they're one of two categories. One, they never bid on anything, so you don't care. Or two, they only bid on private party listings. So they're the type that they're the Corvette curmudgeon. I'll never buy from a dealer. They're dock fees. Okay, just reduce your bid by the dock fee amount and call it a day. Nope, it's principled.
I also love the people that I have a couple of during the auction where they like ask for something for the seller to go through extra work and then don't follow up on it. Like the commenter doesn't. So somebody said, "Can you do a proper cold start video, please? And a driving video? Many thanks. I'm a buyer, but I need to know more." They never commented again and they never bid on the car, even after the seller uploaded that.
My favorite one, and this is my last one. I couldn't quite believe this one as an excuse. This is a good one. I've heard, I was on a plane, I got called into a meeting, whatever valid distraction, but I was getting my eyes dilated.
What? That's not, the auction's happening, bro. Like, I don't understand.
They had been bidding actually too, and it was just like the last 5 minutes. It's like, okay, well, just throw a shutter down bid and then go get your eyes dilated.
I have one. Again, this was during the auction that I had to pick it. This is for some awesome green, like 2005 SEMA show car Mustang with like 7,000 miles, and it's got a custom stereo in it that during the driving video has a screen to enter the code. Somebody asked if the seller had the code for the radio, and they responded in a bizarre way that essentially meant yes. And the guy followed up with, "Makes no sense. You have not confirmed to have the code or that the radio functions. I'm out."
They're not going to bid based on a radio code?
On a like highly customized SEMA show car. They're like, "Nope, radio doesn't work. I'm out."
I'm sure it doesn't work. It's a show car.
What do you expect? And they said the little waving emoji. I appreciated that the seller that said, they responded quickly and said, "You were never in. This would have been the most expensive car you put a bid on."
Oh, so they went to their profile and called them out. I will do that every now and then, but I have to be careful because, of course, our username is Switchcars, which is our brand. I can't be all like I'm a private party and just say what I want, but I've shut people down a few times with ridiculous questions or assumptions or assertions or whatever. So anyway, just like the forums, you don't need to announce your exit on an auction. Either bid or don't bid, or ask a question or don't ask a question. But yeah, nobody cares that you're not bidding on this Lamborghini because you have 7 others and you enjoy them so much. Nobody cares. Well, you might get 3 likes on your comment. So I guess 3 people care, but you don't even know who they are.
The dopamine, Doug.
The dopamine of people you've never met and don't know who they are.
The Sheffield brand was recently revived by Jake Turkbus, an owner of an original Sheffield all-sport diver he received from his parents in 1970 when he was just 11, beginning his love of watches. As an adult, Jay used his extensive expertise in product development and marketing to revive the brand that started it all. He set out to develop watches with a high level of quality and specification at a value price. His first effort, and a successful one, on July of 2023, was the debut of the Sheffield All-Sport Diver 1. It had the kind of build and movement that much more expensive watches use, and his debut price of $108 was equivalent to the $13 his parents paid in 1970. Since that debut, Sheffield has expanded to a wider range of automatics and chronos, many designed around vintage Sheffield dials of the 60s. The Sheffield well of clever and unique design remains his inspiration, as well as maintaining the goal of high quality, very affordable range of automatic and quartz watches. Sheffield Watches, value on merit, not just price. I love mine, so get yours at sheffieldwatches.com and be sure to mention you found them on Switchcast.
Thank you for joining us for Switchcast with Doug Tabbitt and Tyler Sanders, produced by Ethan Huffnagel. Switchcast is an automotive entertainment and opinion show, and nothing we say should be taken very seriously. We do not give tax, investment, legal, emotional, or professional advice, and the only licenses we hold are driver's licenses. The opinions expressed on this show are exclusively held by the people pontificating at that moment and do not reflect the values of our producers or sponsors. Our theme music is provided by Emily and Ivory. You can stream their full album on Spotify or SoundCloud. If you like this show, you can stream it in its entirety on your favorite audio podcast platform. Check out switchcast.live for more info.